Hello, everyone. Bula from Fiji. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ren Sagil, and I'm so happy to be here with you. Good evening, Martine, my colleague, Niori, Queenie Joy, Uday. So, yes, some of you are, I can find it, are already experts. Please tell me your name and where are you calling from in the chat box. And yes, Bula Vinaka from my friends from Telecom Fiji, I'm guessing. Thank you. Thank you, Aldwin and Rosemary. So sorry, I might be looking on this side of the screen. But anyway, let's focus. I'm so excited to be with you here today. Rowena, there might be some names that I can't mention, but I can see those. There's now 42 in the class. I actually have a limit in the class. It's around 50, and we had more than that. But anyway, Grishella, hello. Crystalline, hello from Converge ICT. Thank you. Please tell my very big boss, Boboy and Dennis, thank you for inviting you here. I'm really excited. Odette, Ginaline, thank you guys. Thank you. Okay, let's get rolling. So, first of all, I wanted to acknowledge all of you guys to be here. It's a Friday night or Friday afternoon in the Philippines, and I am so proud of you to be here, leaning in and learning about sales. Thank you, Maria and Jenica. And Marivic, I think I mentioned your name already. But seriously, thank you and acknowledge you to be here. Now, we have 1.5 hour tonight. I would give like 1 hour for the content, and I promise you, I'm gonna give you content that you can easily use for your sales profession, or if you're working for a big corporate company, or if you're working for yourself as a business, how to sell to corporate clients. And then 15 minutes Q&A. If you have some questions, we can tackle it after the 15 minutes. And just being transparent. Shout out Santiago. Thank you. Welcome from Silang, Cavite. Fantastic. So 15 minutes, it's a little bit about the course that I'm launching. And you will see a lot of snippets here on what we're going to discuss. Now, I actually have some slides to show you. So, Lauren, hi. Hi, Ashley. Thank you. So, I don't want to be boring, but I do really need to share some slides. First of all, I wanted to ask you just a bit of engagement. Good morning, Christian. Good afternoon, good evening, he said from Philippines. Thank you. So, there's 5 things here. So, can you please tell me that you're here because you're thinking of learning how to sell to corporate clients? Second, you know you need to learn how to sell to corporate clients, but really haven't gotten around it. Third, you started selling to corporate clients because maybe it's part of your job, you're already in corporate sales, but you're not getting the results that you really want. And number four, you might be a sales pro, but you have actually a really good, great mindset, and you know you could always learn more. And fifth, because you're my friend, that's why you're here. So just let me know on the chat box where you belong in that sense. And I'm just really curious. Number three, Crystalline, great. Thank you for being vulnerable and open about it. Number two from Lauren, great. Rowena, for me, number three. You know, guys, I really want to thank you for being transparent, because we want to learn more about corporate sales. You know, it's one of the best profession in the world. Unfortunately, unlike engineers or doctors, they have a course, but for sales, it seems like there's no course in university. Although I think in the US right now they're offering some advanced professional sales, but still, thank you, Chris. You're one and two, but still, it's not a given that everyone learns how to do sales, and sometimes you're really scared to do sales because it might come out very sleazy. You're like, because you've had bad experiences with sales, right? So I will help you with that. I've been in the sales industry for the last 25 years. I know, right? I actually started sales when I'm 10. No, I'm kidding. But yes, I've been in sales for the last 25 years, and I've loved it. I've actually believed that if you're great in sales, you're great in life. No matter how much um, challenges you'll face in your life, and you apply what you've learned in sales, you will smash it. You'll be so good. You'll be a high performer both in your sales career and your sales life. And this is something that actually starts and begins with mindset, which is what we will discuss first. And then I'll go to some structure on how to do sales prospecting, and then show you as well the sales life cycle that normally happens in corporate sales. Now, this is going to be interactive and fun. I'm pretty I agree, Rosemary. Thank you. And I really love you guys to lean in, and don't worry, Ashley. We're gonna learn everything about sales. Not tonight. It's a learning progress, but a lot. And it's gonna be an active community. And I'd really want everyone to be supportive of each other. There might be some comments and questions. Let's just be supportive and just really lean in and get that energy from each other. So just to pause a bit, why am I talking about corporate sales? Because there's a mixed group of people here. So Bula to Telecom Fiji, they were my clients before, just really love them. Converge ICT from the Philippines, I've worked with your bosses before, so really know them. And all of them, other business owners from Australia and New Zealand. I know you wanted to capture those corporate accounts, but it just seems so hard, right? And let's just step back a bit. Why do we actually want to handle corporate clients? Well, first of all, it's the revenue, right? It's a big revenue. I mean, most businesses, even the corporate ones, if you look at their revenue, 80% of their revenue is actually coming from corporate clients. And the rest is small and medium business and consumer, the mobile phones. So therefore, everyone wants just to grab the market share in corporate sales. And the other one is the 80/20 rule. So if you're working on your own business and you want to have a better efficiency and effectivity, you want to focus on the 80% of that revenue, and that actually comes better from corporate clients. And even if you are a corporate client, you're a corporate sales manager, if you look at the territory, and I hope you've given some thought on how you are looking at your territory, you'll see that the top 10 accounts you have is the one that's going to contribute the 80% of revenue. It depends. So if you have 10 accounts, probably two or three will be your biggest account. Yeah, thank you, Anna. So there's a survey, and this is really meant for our friends from the business owners, right? There was a survey in New York that small and medium businesses who actually tried to target corporate accounts grew by 266%. And I have a friend here, Martine. She has a client who started targeting corporate accounts, and she grew by 300%. My personal experience as well. We export New Zealand products to the Philippines. We didn't had any supermarkets before. We were focusing on B2C consumer. But then when we got restaurants in Robinson, suddenly the revenue skyrocketed, and 80% of that revenue is coming from the big corporates. And that's what I'm trying to say. So I hope, guys, you agree with me and that makes sense. And even in Telecom Fiji or Fiji, the big corporates, the government, they're the ones who's generating this revenue, and that's why we want to win these deals. So tonight, we're gonna focus on these five key points. First of all, I really want to talk about mindset. Um, you know, knowing that you have the confidence to work on it. Yes, Setareki, I hope I pronounced it well. Yeah, 80% is coming from corporate and government. So we need to work on our mindset, guys. We really need to get that right. And then five, because I want you to learn something tonight that you can easily use tomorrow, we'll work on five powerful prospecting strategies you can implement right now. So I hope everyone know what prospecting is in sales, right? It's the beginning of the sales cycle. It can be a cold call, it can be a warm call. Personally, I don't like cold calling. So I'm gonna teach you how to make cold calls a bit warmer. And then I don't know why I wrote client call excellence. I'm meaning on the mobile phone or on a virtual call, and how to book meetings. Because we only have a short time now. It's normally different if you will have a client call face to face or on a phone. So that's included in all my other courses. And how to handle objections and brush off. Brush off is like, when you call a client, I'm busy now, don't talk to me. So how do you handle that and turn it around? And then the last one, I want to part it with developing mental toughness in prospecting. Exactly. It's positive mindset. It's very critical, right? Knowing that you have to have positive mindset, but how do you have positive mindset? That's the thing that's we're going to tackle tonight. So by the end of this 1.5 hour, we will have a clear understanding of the attributes of corporate companies. We'll talk about that. Stop the overwhelm and really have a clear structure of how to approach corporate sales cycle and what are the prospecting strategies you can put in place. Learn that skills is not natural born, but it's actually something that you can learn and practice. I mean, I'm an engineer. When I first did my first job, I was in buy and tell. They still alive. I didn't want to do sales because I'm an engineer. They trained me. I worked really hard, and it's the best thing that I've ever done in my life. And being effective and efficient by having a clear target account plan, clear prospecting strategy and action. So we will tackle that in the little time that I have. I hope that I'll be able to give you a lot of information. So what's my goal today? I always start with my why. So I want to teach you my best information and strategies about prospecting corporate clients so you can make smart decisions as you move forward. Is that all right? Thumbs up. I don't know how if you could do thumbs up or smiley in here. By the way, I'm using Demeo. It's a good platform because you don't have to download the app. Thank you. Thanks, Neil, Crystalline, Martin, Ashley. Oh my God. Thank you everyone for the love. You're so engaged. I love it. Thank you. Christine, Grishala, Levi, Sam, Queenie Joy. Okay. 5 minutes. I just wanna or four, I think that I've placed in there. Thanks, Jenaline. I am not a born salesman. Take out all those doubts. It doesn't exist. No one is a born salesperson. Myth number two, no one will talk to me. I don't know where to start. If you have a structure in place that I will share with you now, they will talk to you and you will know how to start and you won't be overwhelmed. Number three, there's too much competition. Well, yes, there's competition, but there's not too much competition. When you start talking to clients, you will be surprised how they actually love to talk to salespeople. But remember, they only want to talk to salespeople who will add value. And we will talk about that more in the next few slides. Thank you, Tess. Number four, it's too complex and hard, and I might waste time and money. It's not complex and hard. There's a structure behind it. And yes, we have to learn. And if you know how to structure it, then you won't waste time and money. So, am I going too fast? You're all good. Thank you. Um, let's talk about, and I will stay a bit of a longer time on this slide. Okay. Um, what are the attributes of corporate clients? First of all, you really need to be laser focused, 100% committed on your target message. So I know we have solutions, right? So if you're a telecom company, you have Ethernet solutions, internet, backup, storage, security, whatever. But the reality is, solutions does not have universal value unless your client actually has a pain or a problem that will address that solution. So when you speak to clients, don't talk about, hey, I have the solution. Never, don't ever do that. Or if you're a coach or if you're a manufacturing business, don't ever talk about your solution. Always ask about what their problems are, how can you help them, and I know it's challenging, especially if you're the one who's going to call on the client and you ask them about these questions, right? So I will teach you how to frame that up later in the next few slides. The second one is it's value-based selling. What do I mean by value-based selling? Because small businesses, they have simple needs. So it's very transactional. But for corporate clients, you need to offer something that will actually transform or change their business. So it's either saving time, being progressive and innovative in the space they're at. Um, Obviously solving a particular problem, but it has to transform the way they're doing things and making it better for them. So, for example, if you're a telecoms company and you're offering a solution, don't just offer a solution because there's a benefit. Offer it because ask their problem first. And if their problem is, oh, everything is manual, we couldn't track some of our products. If you offer them a ICT solution that actually provides them uh, both end to end, providing them communication tools and correcting the problem that they have, that's more transformational and end to end. Does that make sense? Don't just pitch in benefits without them really understanding that it's solving their problem. And the last one is you have to remember, and this is comes with your mindset as well. It's long term. You really need to nurture and build relationship with them. In fact, McKinsey report said that in a corporate client, it takes 6.5 decision makers to close a deal. So I'll give you an example. Like if you are working for a vendor, you're selling fiber networks or mobile networks or a coaching transformation solution, 5 to 6 people needs to approve that contract before they can actually agree. And you have to nurture relationships not only for the person you're talking to, but the person that he's reporting to and the big boss of that person, right? So you have to have an account strategy in place. And you might think, oh my God, that's a lot of work. No, it's not a lot of work because the revenue that you will generate is 300% of the actual smallest deal that you have. Does that make sense? And also, the beauty about corporate clients, if you're already inside and you close the deal, it's gonna be very, very difficult for other clients to, sorry, for other vendors to actually call on them. Does that make sense, guys? Actually, I have a worksheet for you so you guys don't get bored with me talking too much. So, shall we progress? So, what's the mindset that you need to have? You have to be enthusiastic and energetic. You have to have an open and growth mindset, which means that when you meet a client, I don't mean that you have to dance and see the client, but you have to be this bundle of energy that just gives them energy and they want to see you. And you're very positive about it. So being enthusiastic and energetic, that's the first one. The second one is competitive. Salespeople begin each day knowing that they have to battle for attention of their clients, knowing that they have to put out their best foot forward and give value to their clients. And then the third one is confident. So, how can you be confident? Confident only comes from competence. Competence is knowing your product, knowing your solutions and services, knowing the ecosystem around it, knowing your competitor, working with your sales team, if you have a sales team or your staff, to know what is happening in the industry. So, that's being confident. And you have to be relentless. As salespeople, the reality is you will hear no breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? And I actually disagree that don't make it personal. Of course, you're gonna make it personal. If you submit a proposal and then you didn't get anywhere, aren't you gonna get hurt? Yes, no, or you won't feel anything. Can you please let me know what you feel? Yes, we show we care. Thank you, Lauren, because we get hurt when we lost a deal. Of course, that's only normal, but that's fine because once, thank you, Uday, once you get feedback on how did I lost a deal, you'll get better and better and better, and there's no way but you're gonna win that deal. And then you need to be thirsty for knowledge. And I mean, the fact that you guys are here on a Friday, then you are thirsty for knowledge. Just a bit little down. Yes, Anna. Right. That's good. You're down a bit. But you know what? Know why you lost the deal and you're going to improve it. And in fact, if you ask your client, how can I improve better? You'll just get closer and closer to that deal and be systematic and efficient. I would assume as corporate, if you're around corporate, you have Salesforce or Sugar CRM. And if you're a business owner, you can probably get, thank you, Rowena. Yes, it's a feeling of defeat, but just need to come back smarter. Exactly. You know what they said? Um, Failure is feedback. So if you lost one deal, get that feedback, and then go back again. You're gonna win that deal. I mean, I'm a living testament. I've lost so many deals. I think in my younger days, I would cry in the car when I lost a deal, and then the next day you'll get $10 million account. That's amazing, right? Yeah. So I'm moving on to the systematic and efficient. So you need to have a system in place. You need to have a CRM. Exactly, Lauren. Always getting feedback. Someone told me that sales is like fishing. You keep on fishing until you get the fish. So that was funny. And then being adaptive and flexible. And that's what I'm saying. You need to be more agile than your other competitor. So this is being a successful person, being really positive about it. And in the end of the slide, I'll show you, like, I'm pretty sure you guys are doing it right now on how to be a tough-minded, successful sales professional. So yeah, so this is the worksheet. I hope you received the worksheet I sent. So from 0 to 10, where do you think you are now? So you don't have to share it with me if you don't like to, but if you do, if you want, you can put something on the chat box what you're thinking. So it's just a self reflection of where you are right now, and then if, for example, you want to be more confident, then you know you have to learn more about your products. If you want to be more systematic and efficient, what systems in place do you need to place in there? So just grade yourself on where you are now, from being 0 lowest to 10 the perfect. And if you're all 10, good on you. I salute you. I think for me, as a salesperson, I'm still struggling with the systematic and efficient because I hate Salesforce, but I'm pushing myself to do Salesforce because it just really helps to have a proper system in place. No response? It's okay. So you're all working on it, I assume. Yes, thank you, Rowena. Great. So this slide, this is the ideal sales process, and I would thanks Martin, definitely. So I would this is my standard ideal sales process, and tonight we will talk about initiating those opportunities, and you might have a qualification and then validate, propose, winning the deal, and client onboarding. Now, why is it that it's important that you have a proper sales process? Because having a proper sales process actually tells you where you are in the opportunity. Can you please share with me if you have very similar sales process? Yes or no, something different. But from where I have worked from on a corporate sales perspective, whether I was in the Philippines, I'm in Singapore, in Fiji, in Australia, and even in other parts of the world, this is the same sales process that most people go in. Now, you might question why I have validate here, because, and I'm not be able to tackle this tonight, but I never ever submit a proposal unless I already have buy-in verbally of what the pricing is. So what I'm meaning is I never almost negotiate. When I give a price proposal, I've already checked the box with different stakeholders of where the pricing in. That's why it's not good to actually join RFPs, because RFPs is a recipe for disaster. RFP is request for proposal. You're going to spend so much time answering the bid and you almost don't win unless you know that you dictated the RFP itself, that you've built that those documents. So tonight we're going to talk about initiating the opportunities. I hope you guys are still there. I'm not seeing any response on the chat. Thank you, my colleague. Still here. Thanks, Anna. Yes. Cool. Thank you, Rowena. So I actually have it in your handout if you want to answer it. Thank you, Adrian, Uday, Chris. Awesome. Thanks, Martin. So, what are the powerful strategies in prospecting? So, you need to personalize. Thank you, Santiago. Thanks, Judy. I love the heart. And Neil, Goshella, and Shiva. So let's know our purpose in prospecting. There are actually four. Thanks, Aldwin. I love the heart as well. There's actually four core objectives in prospecting. The first one is, so prospecting is when you call on a client, whether it's a warm lead or a cold lead. Thank you, Fipe. Um, so first one is, are you setting an appointment? Number one is, are you only gathering information and qualify if the lead is something that you could pursue? The third one is you close a sale, and the fourth one is building familiarity. Now, why am I stating this? Because a lot of times, and tell me if I'm wrong. Thanks, Renaline. I love the heart too. Um, when we call on a customer, sometimes our customer is confused what we want. And it's very important that when we call them, we know that I'm actually setting an appointment. I'm not selling. In corporate sales, you cannot sell a solution immediately on your first meeting, right? You never will. Totally agree. Thank you, Niori. So let's be, every time you set a meeting, why am I meeting this person? I'm just setting an appointment. Or why am I calling? Sorry, I'm just setting an appointment. I'm getting information. Just be very clear. And then once you know that you got what you need, it's a win. It's a small win, right? It's a more validation that you're on the right path. The next one is be intentional. So, as I said, what is your purpose? Are you setting up a meeting? Are you getting more information? And then have a call plan and a script. We will discuss the scripts in the next few slides. What are your key steps in that call? What is it that you actually want to discuss with them? And last one is, your client will really appreciate it if you know that they can make good use of their time. So, as what Franklin Covey, if you're familiar with the Seven Habits, begin with the end in mind. How do you want that meeting to end? How do you want that call to end? Do you want a call to set a real meeting face to face so you can get more of the requirements, or do you just want to get information? And then this is important. When you do prospecting, you need to block your time. Yeah, exactly. Setareki, exactly. So you need to block your time. What do I mean by that? So set a time every week. So for me, I set 2 times a week. If I can do more, 3 times a week. Let's say 9 to 11. That's the time I call people. I call, I email, I go on LinkedIn, I network. Just the 2 hours to spend. Thanks, Lauren. Call plans critical. Awesome. Fantastic. Congratulations, Lauren, for closing the sale. Great. So block your time. Adopt a CEO mindset, and then batch your work. Because let's say you have a list of clients, and you said, I'm gonna call these clients from 9 to 10. How they're doing? Just networking. With some countries, I guess you still have COVID, so you couldn't really see your clients. So you just call them and have this virtual Teams or Zoom, right? Focus on that. If someone distracts you, stop. Keep going on those hour or 2 hours that you've blocked your time, because focusing on it and having a deep work will get you result. So stick to your guns. I call them my golden hour, my twice a week, 2 hours. I connect with people. And by the way, as a salesperson, we will discuss that on the networking. One of the things that really worked for me, moving from country to country, is it's such a small world. If you are in the coaching industry, or if you are in the IT or telco industry, it's such a small world. Wherever you are, what country you have, all of your network will help you, whether they become a client, whether they become a colleague, a boss, a mentor. You really need to make sure that you spend time in networking. Yes, Rowena, having a good call structure will cause our client to respect us, even if it is a cold call. A bad call structure would be exactly great, amazing. You got it. And also, even if you didn't get to do business with with a cold call client, let's just say, he will remember you. or she will remember you. And then if something happens, they will, oh, actually we need an ethernet connection now, we should call Rowena. So having that really good call structure will help not only yourself but your client. Now, bear with me here. So if you're a salesperson, know your numbers. Efficiency and effectivity is equals to productivity. Are you guys familiar with lead measures versus lag measure? So a lag measure example. Awesome. Thank you, Macaulay. Thank you, Lauren. A lag measure is your quota. Let's say you're working for a corporate. You have a monthly quota, you have a quarterly quota, you have a yearly quota. The problem or the challenge with just looking at your quota is by the time you know if you've reached it or not, you've missed it. Let's say, for example, you have a 5 million quota by the end of December. By the time you know that you lost, that you will get 5 million or not, it's already done, right? Uday, it's finished. So how will you be in a position to make sure you get your quota? So what you do is get the numbers per client that you will generate. Let's say you know on an average your client is, I'm making up numbers here, guys, okay? Let's say you know for an average your client for the services that you're offering is 100,000. And then your quota is, let's say, 1 million. Now, for you to reach your 1 million quota by the end of the year, you need to have 10 clients, right? But you know that for you to have those 10 clients, you need to call on 50 clients, because out of those 50 clients, you're going to close 10%, which is actually already, is my maths correct? 550. Yeah, okay. I hope my maths is correct. I'm not good in math. So you know that you have to call on 50 clients to get 10 clients that will generate 1 million. So that's your lead measure. So how many clients do you need to call? Oh, thank you, Rowena. So that's five. So 20% then, which is actually really high. So you have to increase your client calls to 100 then, because I don't know about how your target account is, but normally when you're doing a sales call, the percentage revenue, so sorry, the percent probability is like 10%, and that's already really high. But I have a secret for you, because you need to qualify really well. So I qualify really well. So I always hit 90% of the accounts that I declare that I can close. And that's part of another course. So does that make sense? Know your lead measures. So how much activity you're generating and time blocking. I'm just checking for time. Okay, we have 30 minutes. Um, and then when you have a CRM, so I would assume you all have a CRM, Salesforce, Sugar CRM. You know, it's a database for all of our customers. Yes, you're using CRM, guys. Yes, awesome. Maria, thank you. Melody, Eric, Fipe, thank you. Yes. So, do you like your CRM? Yes, Salesforce. I know salespeople doesn't like CRM, but it's a tool that we really need to use. My colleagues like, eh. Um, so we need a system and structure in place. Yeah, Salesforce. You've gotta love Salesforce, right? And yeah, exactly, Rowena. So you need to filter those Salesforce though, sorry. So be able to have a list on when you're prospecting. Do you just sit down and say, okay, today I'm gonna call this client? How do you prospect? How do you what is your strategy? Well, you can have different strategies. The first one is, what's the largest opportunity that I have for revenue growth? The second one is, what's the highest potential that I can actually close this deal, especially if it's time to close deals, right? At the end of the month, of the quarter, you want to close that. And then the qualification level as well. So have a great list for your Salesforce or your CRM as one of the prospecting strategy that's really okay. So now we're into the accounts in the pipeline, right? So when you have a target account prospect, you normally have your top 10. and then you have your potential 100, and then the rest of the industry. You really need to target and really focus on those top 10. Now, if you or top 20, I'm not sure, but have that top identified clients, and make sure that you really call on them, have a strategy in place, an account plan. Because if you keep on moving from one account to the other, you cannot move your account and make it um, meet your quota, right? So identify your top 10. That's really, really important. And if you're a business and it's the first time you're targeting corporate clients, you really need to target it in your niche. Find a vertical or a target market that you really want to focus on. I mean, in corporate sales, thank you, Michael. In corporate sales, either you do by industry, by territory, or by area, or by revenue. That's how they do it. So let's say your government or your manufacturing or call centers, this are the target segments, and then you get the top tier that you can actually really get a bigger revenue, or maybe you can leverage your relationship. So that's how you do it. Yeah, by segment is right though. It makes sense. And then the potential 100, because if you lost a deal on the top, you move it at the bottom and get another potential account, right? Just have to make sure that you have your list. So networking, are you still guys okay? So this is a joke, right? I'm not mentioning networking as in data networking. It's a networking on networking with people. So as salespeople, you need to network. So how do you network? Could you answer in the chat box what are your networking strategies, please? How do you network? I know there's some limitations now in COVID. BNI, Martine, nice. Fresh, virtual LinkedIn, awesome. Judy, LinkedIn, great. Meetups, thank you, Grishella. LinkedIn, lots of LinkedIn. So yeah, awesome. So networking and the professional groups and LinkedIn. I tell you, socializing, going out to meet people. Yeah. So in business, network with your target account, right? So if you have your top 10 clients and you're focused on a certain vertical, let's just say government, you need to hang out where they're hanging out. So look for events, even virtual, that they are attending, right? Exactly, Michael. If they're in a corporate account, you need to meet them. Now, you can also network. Yeah, that's awesome. Bowling events. I mean, if we can do that now, awesome. Yes, Louisa. So one of the things that you can do as well is network face to face or virtual networks if you could still cannot meet. Connect on LinkedIn and then give value to them. Like if you're from the telco industry, give a white paper what you've actually done. Thanks, Christine. Give a document that will help them about security or any paper. So when you're networking, it's not exactly just networking on a public place. It's also networking in an email and knowing that you'll have an interaction with each other. So LinkedIn, emails, that's gonna really work. Another tip, if you know a person working in their company and he's your friend, ask for an introduction. Or if you know someone who knows someone in that company, ask for an introduction. Yes, because that is warmer. They will gravitate towards you. So I would call a friend. I would say, for example, hey Martine, do you know David from ABC company? Yeah, I know David. Oh, can you kindly introduce me to him? And then she will introduce me. And then that will create more momentum that you calling on a person. So guess what? The first 60 seconds that your initial call will determine. So this is a person that you don't know, okay? You're calling that person. He's been referred to you as a good person, or he's one of the new people in the company that you're being assigned to work on. So it's your account, but you don't know that person, and you're calling that person. So the first 60 minutes, sorry, seconds will actually determine if you will go with the relationship or not, right? And honestly, as a salesperson, this is actually nerve wracking, or not even as a salesperson. Any person who will call someone pretty new and introduce himself or herself that you're a salesperson is very nerve wracking, right? Yes, Santiago, referrals is the way to go. So when you call a client, I was actually talking to my headhunter a couple of weeks ago, and he was just saying a salesperson asked him and selling him something, and he said, "How are you?" You don't ask how are you, because that other person will, "I'm busy, don't call me," right? Or you don't call and say, "Hey, I'm calling you because I want to talk about my product," or "Hello, do you have a minute?" No, I don't have a minute. That's what they're gonna say. So do not ever say that. You can only say these things if you're very close to your client, right? Do you agree? Like if someone calls you and they said, "Hey, I want to tell you about our new service." You're like, "Yes, Judy." You're like, "Nah, get lost." Thank you. Yes, bugger off, Arena. Yes, totally agree. So what do we do? Thank you guys. Thanks for the support. Um, so this is a cold prospecting framework that I want to share with you. And you need to really write it and script it. And it would be good if you practice it with someone or your client. Not sorry, not your client, but your teammate, right? So first of all, get their attention, like good morning or hello, and then identify yourself. Tell them what you want. Thank you, Christine and Melody Gien. They have a beautiful name, but just couldn't pronounce it. Tell them what you want. Then bridge to a because and ask for what you want. One example. So this is a call that I wanted to get an appointment. The example is that person, I don't know, he knows me because I was referred to him, but this is the first time I'm calling him. So it's a cold call, but actually he kind of knows me as well. But it just will work as well on a cold call. But you know what, guys? I if you do cold call, make sure you research the company, you know about the company, and that's what I'm trying to show here. So you'll say, "Hey Anna, my name is Ren, and I'm the director of Sage. The reason I'm calling is to set up a meeting with you because I just saw in the news that you're expanding your sales team and our clients in the same industry has increased their revenue because we have them in their onboarding. It would be great to meet you and discuss in detail. How about 3 p.m. on Wednesday?" Now I know it's a bit long. You can shorten it. I wish I did a better job of shortening it, but this is what I'm saying. You go right to the point. And also your bridge to a because it has to be something really, really important to them. Let's say he's an IT manager and you know that someone told you that, oh, they're looking for a new provider for a backup solution or security. Use that I'm calling you because I heard that you're working on a new product or project, and these are the things I've done for a customer. I want to meet you. Does that make sense? So this is getting an appointment, and give the time and the date. Don't ask them, "Are you free on?" No, don't. Just give the time and date. Now, if they're not they're not free, they're gonna give you the time and the date. The next one is yeah, thanks, Eric. You have to because they're gonna think, "Oh, I have to look on my calendar." And then the other one is when you're information gathering, when you're trying to work on account, you need to get some information. Same thing. Tell them what you want, but sure, because you can say, "Hey Anna, my name is Ren. I'm working for Sage. The reason I'm calling is I saw in an article that you're building a new call center and we can offer you telecommunication services. In our experience, once we work with you earlier before you're setting up the building, we can give you a design and it will be more competitively priced and better. So how does your take control of the appointment? How does the procuring of the services, how do you do it? Who's the decision maker? You can ask all those questions. And then saying that because they will save time and money, they will agree with it. And then ask for what you want. Please provide me and how you can make those decisions and what does it begin. And they can even tell you like, "Oh, I need to connect you with another person because I'm not the one taking care of it." But this is an example or a script. wherein you can get more information and you're really sound professional, like really knowing what you have as a service and providing it for your clients. Yes, Lauren, bring in a few bit because you need to ask them, you need to give you need to give them information that will be of value to them. If they're designing the building and you want to put in a telecoms equipment, it's important for them that they can save money. Or if you are putting in a coaching transformation, have a bit of benefit of what it can do. Yeah, Ashley, great. Get their attention by talking about things of interest. Totally. Yes, totally. You're getting it real, guys. So what about brush off and objections? Does it work? How do you handle objections? Now, the default of people objecting is you also object. Don't do that with your client, right? So it doesn't work. So when your clients tell us you call and I'm not interested. I don't have the budget. I'm busy right now. Or the classic, just send me the information. Yeah. Yes, Anna. Great. Yeah, keep it open. I'm happy with my current provider. So don't say anything against that. First of all, you validate. Okay? So this is how you do it. You validate. So going back to those questions, just send me the information. So you call the client, or probably she's not the decision maker, she's a gatekeeper, right? Let's say a secretary or an assistant. Just send me the information, and you wanted to get the contact person, and then you say, I understand that you wanted to get the information. Um, However, I don't want to waste your boss time, so I would rather get the right person than send you the information. So who's the right person I can send it to? That's why. So what's the other question? I'm happy with my current provider. So this is a classic. Oops. This is a classic. So you validate, oh, I'm actually, yes, Shiva. I understand that you're currently happy with your current provider. However, I would want to test if they're actually giving you a good price or service. So why not give me 15 minutes, and if it doesn't work well, it's okay, but at least you'll get an indication that you're getting a good price from them. You know what I mean? So use validate first, like validate what they're saying, agree with them. I agree with you, and then reframe it. However, or I'll give you a better pricing structure, and you can see if they're actually giving you a good price, and then ask for the appointment. Thank you, Maria. Yeah, because Lauren, what if they say they're exploring other options? Can you ask if you can file? No, no, no. When they are exploring other options, ask, may I know what are the other options? So have an open question. That's actually really good, because if they say I'm exploring other options, what are the other options you're exploring? They have to talk, because you should always ask open-ended questions. Don't ask a yes or a no. But that's a good one. Thank you, Makali. Yeah. So we're getting at the end of it. I think I'm doing pretty good. But actually, let me go back. I wanted to share with you guys one really, really crucial topic on prospecting. So you know how when you call on a client, yes, Reframe actually open up another level of conversation. That's very good. So this one, when you ask for a meeting and you actually get into the meeting, do you normally ask, hey client, thank you for your time. These are our products and services. Do you do that? Is that how you do it? How do you guys do it? Because I wanted to share with you a story. Actually, it just happened a few weeks ago, and another one this morning. So I know that you're the one who asked for the meeting, but when you ask for the meeting and you meet the client, do not ever present your products and services immediately. Do not. Find a chance for them to talk. So, for example, hi, thank you for meeting me, Lauren. I really appreciate the time with you. Before we go any further, is there something that you want? Let's say you're talking about a security solution or a network. Is there something about your network that's currently important with you right now, or you can ask that's challenging you? You need to ask that question. They're not going to say, no, nothing's challenging me. They will talk. Believe me, 99% of the time, they will talk. So, yeah, you build rapport first. But after the rapport, Levi, is actually really asking that question: what's happening? What's your challenge? What's your goal? So I'll give you a story. This actually happened to me. So I went into a meeting because at that time I was a vendor and I was supporting a reseller. And we went to a meeting and I asked the account manager, so what is our topic for this meeting? And he said, no, it's just a courtesy call. We're just going to see him. You know, we always have those courtesy call. I want you guys to stop saying just courtesy call. Every time you're going to have a meeting with your client, you need to give them value. You need to ask questions and you need to build information into your account, whether you're qualifying or building rapport, you need to get that. So we went into that meeting, and so the vice president said, so guys, what are you presenting to me? And I said, oh, thanks for your time. We'll present that later. But I just wanted to know how you are now in your network. What's your goals? And how are you doing? It didn't take much. He immediately said, actually, we're thinking of redesigning our network and we might go to an RFP. So just asking one simple question of how you are, where your network is, will open lots of opportunities. You know, the salespeople, we're always guilty of this is my solution. Remember, the solution has no value unless the client has a problem. Now, the only thing about that as well is if they're looking for another vendor or solution already, and if you're coming from perspective of understanding their problem, then you'll be able to reframe it and really ask what's happening. Does that make sense? Cool. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Judy and Maria. So, I think this is my last slide for the course itself. I really want you to lean in here. How to create mental toughness. You need to eat well, sleep well, and exercise. I know it doesn't sound rocket science, but this is really important. And have a physical activity, guys, especially now. You know what's happening in the world. We need to take care of ourselves. High five, Sitareki. I hope you're not saying goodbye. Yes, the solution is no value. There is no problem. Thank you. And then be open. Just you being here, learning to growth, reading, listening to podcasts, get a sales coach or a mentor, or even your boss. If your boss can be a mentor for you, or if you have another business partner, get surrounded. Yeah, salesman is like a doctor from Santiago. Always ask and listen, then prescribe later. Yeah. And then last one, surround yourself with positive people only. Weed out the weeds. You know, here in Australia and New Zealand, we have this tall poppy syndrome. And then in the Philippines, I know we talk about crab mentality, you know, pulling people down. In Australia and New Zealand, we talk about tall poppies. I don't know how do you do it in Fiji, but surround yourself with people that will grow and be the best person that you can be, and as a salesperson as well. Exactly. We are the average of the five people we surround with. So I hope that's great.